Welcome back everybody to this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. As 2021 comes to a close, I figure what better time than now to go ahead and do a year in review. And let's go back and look at some of the most boneheaded moments we featured on this channel here in 2021. And there were quite a few of them. Like this one right here. I still can't even figure out if there's somebody behind the helm of this boat. They came blowing through a no-wake zone, wind up hitting a couple boats, and it's just a wild scene. But this isn't the only one. We saw quite a few wild scenes this year. Kind of like this one here. They tried to get the fenders out, just didn't work. Now, of course, we can pick on the deckhands for not getting those fenders out in time, but the reality is it's probably the captain who's going to wind up losing his job on this one and not the deckhands. Or how about this situation here where we try and back up the ramp, we hit the props, and of course we got to close it out strong and go ahead and hit the docks as well. The docks really did. They took abuse from everyone in 2021, and no dock was safe. And one of the things that made it interesting this year was the amount of security camera footage that came out, showing some of the wild incidents around the marina. Ouch, this one hurts to watch. I'm not sure if this is whiskey throttle, if a piece of clothing got stuck on the throttle lever or what, but this really wasn't that uncommon. We saw quite a bit of this year, including this next scene. This crew's lining it up, they think they've got it, and all of a sudden my man's like, yeah, we're gonna parallel park this thing wherever we want. You gotta watch out around the docks, but the security cameras caught it all, making it interesting here around the docks with some of the things that we've seen. Our next scene is no different. Still around the docks, over at a marina, these guys are trying to get the boat put up. All of a sudden, we see a little heavy throttle hand. We hit the dock, but they're not done. I guess somebody on the boat next to him thought it was funny, kind of laughing at the captain a little bit, and the captain's like, you know what? I'll show you. Let me hit the boat as well. So he goes ahead and takes care of everything around the dock. And our next scene's back at a marina. These guys just got gas. They're trying to get out, but the wind and currents caught them, and they're in a little bit of a mischief. And Captain is starting to get a little frustrated and decides he's going to let these frustrations out on the boats that are already docked here at the marina. Some of you may remember this next scene from earlier in the year, and this is one of the wilder scenes of the year. Here we can see a person standing on the dock. I'm just guessing this is a rental pontoon, and my man guns the throttle. This one's wild. Somehow this lady who is on the dock is fine. She gets hit by the boat, the motor misses her. Right here, you're gonna hit the throttle again, send some more water back at her, but yet she winds up being completely fine. And she swims back to the boat and they pull her out of the water. This is really one of the luckiest people we saw on the channel this year. This was probably one of the wilder scenes, especially around the dock.
Some people should not be driving boats.
And I absolutely agree with this guy. And in some scenes across the channel this year, people weren't. Kind of like this incident back at Lake Boca. Now, of course, not every incident we featured around the dock this year had somebody hitting the dock. There were lots of other things that occurred that still made for wild scenes and made for fun entertainment. Not entertainment for some of the people involved in them, though. In this one right here, somebody please let me know in the comments how in the world this happened even. I don't know how you get a sailboat's keel up on the dock, but that's the scene here. And you just knew this was going to go bad. This crew set up a camera before my man even started moving. Which tells me they already knew when they saw this captain heading to the boat that things were about to go wrong.
Seriously.
That's what you get for...
Oh! He's still tied up.
He's still tied up.
Here our captain notices one of his major mistakes, so that he's still tied up to the dock, and somehow he's able to get this line free himself. Another glorious pontoon having fun around the docks. To be honest, 2021 may have even been the year of the pontoon with the amount of incidents we saw involving pontoon boats this year. Now, of course, the docks were a fun place, but that wasn't the only place we featured some great content. We had plenty of great content of people towing vessels and trying to launch vessels as well. With our Miami Boat Ramps channel, we see some interesting things occur when people are trying to launch their vessel, and we really do feature some of the wildest boat ramps here in the United States. But I'll tell you what, I still would love to get my hands on a full-time camera person to film this launch here, as it's one of the wildest launches I've ever seen. So if you live in this area and you want a job, go ahead and shoot me an email. While our guy who's trying to launch this PWC's kind of let the ski get away from him a little bit, that's not the only thing we saw get away from people this year. We saw plenty of runaway trailers on the channel this year. Sometimes these runaway trailers didn't have the best ending, and it's really one of those things that's tough to stop. When a trailer gets moving, it really is difficult to find a way to get this thing stopped by human power, but some people were able to successfully do so this year. And I don't know what this guy had for breakfast, but I'm assuming it's Wheaties, because when this trailer gets going, my man finds a way to get it stopped somehow as well. This really is one of the toughest things to do sometime, and that's to trust somebody else to tow your vessel for you. You never know how this one's going to end, and that's why you see so many boaters trying to do it themselves.
Go! Go! Look, the gate's closing on it, don't stop! Keep going.
As we can tell here, this one didn't end so hot, but it's not necessarily the person who's towing's fault. They probably just didn't know any better. As a captain, if we're going to let somebody help us, we gotta make sure we give them the directions beforehand they need.
We're blocking the gate.
Now these guys weren't towing a boat, but it was one of the wildest tow scenes of the year, so I absolutely had to add it. When you need that Dairy Queen fix, you're going to go through whatever it is you need to do to make sure you can get it. And then of course, some of the towing scenes we saw this year didn't even involve a trailer, but still a wild scene to watch. I'm wondering if this held. I'm hoping when they close the door, the saran wrap doesn't break, but this is just a tough one, and I hope they made it where they were trying to go.
I can't make this up. I can't really believe what I'm seeing. Okay. At least it'll be fresh when you get there.
Thanks for watching this episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Year. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit me up on Facebook or Instagram and let me know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Adam Melendez, Amanda D, Tom Tock, Calumet IS, Carefree Boating Club, Dewey's Design Company, Jeff Piddlecow, Jay Hone Spina, Marie Claude Bells Nicholas, Charter with Christos, Oscar Martinez, Scott Rogers, Turner O'Keefe 14, Alex Azaline, Captain Johnny's Life, Cody R. Jackson, Heidi Geiger, John W. Greenwood, Carrie Moore 07, Shane Zirkle, and Tara Atkinson did for this episode. And stay tuned for part 2 that'll come next week.